Man, these shrimp are going crazy over this. Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Nathan and this is Sous Shrimp Readers. I'm going to be making some shrimp food in this video, and I have done this before, but this recipe is going to be a little bit different. I do stick to the basic main ingredients in all of my recipes, but I do like to switch it up every time as I think I can improve my recipes each time that I make it. Most of you may not have all of these ingredients on hand, but what I can tell you that is if you decide to try to make your own shrimp food is to use organic ingredients and also make sure that they are pesticide free and shrimp safe. My first ingredient I'm going to use are Indian almond leaves. These are my binder in basically all of my recipes, and all I'm doing here is cutting out the middle where the stem is because I find it to be very stringy and they never eat it in my shrimp tanks, so I really don't want to feed it to them in their shrimp food. The last time I made this food, I didn't grind up my Indian almond leaves and I found it to be a pain in the butt later. So what I decided to do this time was get out my coffee grinder and grind them up into a powder just like the rest of the ingredients that I use. If you love seeing shrimp and everything shrimp related, be sure to hit that subscribe button because that is what this channel is all about. Once I've grinded it into a powder, I'm just going to dump it into a mixing cup where I'm going to put the rest of my ingredients. I really don't have to make that much shrimp food because a little bit goes a really long ways when it comes to this food. I realized that I did not add enough Indian almond leaves to begin with, so I'm going to add just a few more to this recipe. The next ingredient up is nettle leaf powder, and this is going to be the main ingredient of this recipe. And what I've noticed about most of the ingredients that I use in all of my recipes are that they are very, very high in beneficial properties. One of the things that I've noticed about nettle leaf powder is that it's really annoying to try to get to sink in my tanks. It's very, very fluffy in texture, so what I've had to do is alter my recipe each time that I've made it, trying to get it to sink. This, I swear, is not shrimp crack, but what it is called montmorillonite clay, and it is a mineral that I have found to really help my shrimp molt, so I've decided to put it in some of their foods when I make it. This stuff, I really don't want to add a whole lot to it. It really goes a long way for a little bit that I would use, so I just add a couple little tiny scoops, and this is just a scoop that I use to feed my shrimp. Bee pollen is also another ingredient that they would be encountering in the wild. It also makes a really good binder in my shrimp foods. Chlorella is an algae that grows in the wild, also very, very high in beneficial properties, and I really don't want to add a lot of this because it is very potent, and I found last time I added too much of this, they didn't really like the food that much. Spirulina is another algae that grows in the wild. Now, I have seen people feed this to baby fish when they are newborns just because it is a high protein food. I find this to be one of my main ingredients for protein in all of my shrimp foods. I'm not adding very much of this either just because I want nettle to be the main ingredient of this recipe. I want to see just what I can do to try to keep it mostly a nettle blend as I can. I'm going to give it a quick stir and remind everyone that if you are enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below of a video that you would like to see in the future. Just for fun, I'm going to be adding in a little bit of snowflake food just to see how it turns out and to see how my shrimp react over it. I found that using boiling hot water really helped break down all of the ingredients in the recipe, especially the leaf litter that I threw in. This stuff may not look very good, but man, does it smell amazing. I almost feel like if I was to turn this into a pill and eat it, it would probably give me a lot of health benefits too. The next recipe is my spinach blend. And just like the Indian almond leaves, I'm going to be using some mulberry leaves. And I found that they really love these in their tanks, so I've decided to add some to this recipe. The reason why I have to make all of my homemade shrimp food is because, well, when I have this many shrimp, it is very expensive to feed all of these tanks on a daily basis. So I have found that I save an absolute ton of money by making my own. Really am looking for a nice fine powder because I have found that the more that it's ground up, the better it binds to the other ingredients. Spinach is another ingredient that I already know that they love. They have been eating this out of my garden fresh for the last couple of years, but unfortunately it takes a lot of spinach to make this powder, so I've had to buy a big pouch of it for these recipes. I think of my food a lot like my shrimp tanks. I don't like to mix it up a whole lot. I find what they really like and I sort of stick to it. I've been feeding my shrimp foods like this for the last couple of years, and I would have to say my colonies have absolutely exploded. And I do think it's just because of all the natural ingredients that I've been using. There is one more recipe that I'm going to be doing in the future, and that is one that I promised in a previous video, and that is a duckweed and water lettuce video. Now I have made a food on this in the past and it turned out pretty good, and I'm going to be doing it again probably on the next food video. I have always wanted to do some live streams, and I've always been a little bit nervous to do so, but during these lonely times, I thought maybe it would be a good idea to get out there and talk to some other people about shrimp. So if you would like to see me do a live stream, let me know in the comments below. So if you're still with me watching this video, at the end, it really is exciting to see how my shrimp react over this food. I have made quite a bit of food in the past, but I've never seen them react quite like this. Same thing as last time, once I get all of my ingredients in my cup, I'm going to get some boiling hot water to break down all of the ingredients and give it a really good blend. To be honest, I have a ton of fun making my own shrimp food. Not only does it smell amazing, but in the end, I get to see my shrimp react over something that I've made myself. Again, I'm going for a texture just kind of like some baby food or just kind of a paste. I'm going to go upstairs now and pour these onto some cookie sheets. I'm going to make sure that I use parchment paper, as this is the best thing to use for baking these shrimp foods. Nettle leaf can sometimes be tricky when putting it on a cookie sheet, and I just like to keep it about a ½ inch in thickness so it tries to cook down properly. So since I'm not a baker, anybody out there that bakes is going to make fun of me right now, but I really did do the best that I could. This one was a lot easier to spread around, and this one was the spinach, and I found that they both cooked pretty good in the end, and I had to cook them at about 225 degrees Fahrenheit for about 4 hours. They both actually turned out pretty good. I want to say that the spinach turned out just a little bit better than this one, but this one seems to be the really hard one to master, as it's very flaky and it just crumbles apart if you use too much nettle. What I can say that's pretty awesome about the nettle food that I made is that you can crumple it up in your hands and it turns into a powder, and now I can feed this as baby shrimp food. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to finish breaking this up, and remember, once again, I know I've said it quite a few times during this video, but YouTube sometimes has a hard time promoting videos, so leaving that thumbs up and leaving a comment below really does wonders for my channel. At the end of this video, I have something just a little bit different than usual, and I have set up about a 3-minute video of my shrimp eating this food with just a small time lapse in between, and I thought it was pretty cool kind of how they reacted over this food. So I'm going to leave you with my shrimp eating some of my spinach food. I really hope that everybody has a wonderful day. Happy shrimp keeping, and cheers.